brushed my teeth, taking note of the low battery alert light on my toothbrush, gave my red pixie cut a brush slap, shimmied and shook my way into a pair of well-worn, suspiciously snug Ralph Lauren jeans from BB. BB stands for Before Boat, back when I thought nothing of shelling out $300 for a couple of yards of denim instead of a new bilge pump. A glance in the mirror reminded me that makeup might come in handy, so I glommed on a goodly amount of mascara, blush, and lipstick. In my former life, when I'd worked a regular day job, I'd discovered that a good way to get a day off was to show up without makeup. Male bosses take one look at a pallid female and send them home to recover. Who knows when a little wanness might come in handy? Throwing on an oversized long-sleeved tee to camouflage an annoying tortilla-induced roll pooching over my waistband, I grabbed a windbreaker and hat, jammed money, SPF 30 lip gloss, and SPF 50 sunscreen into a pocket, picked up a backpack I'd loaded the night before, and walked out on deck. Gulls wheeled and scolded, pelicans dove for breakfast. A couple of egrets eyed me with suspicion, but only wildlife stirred. Not that I expected any sign of humans, as mine was the only occupied boat at the marina. Rumor had it that just before I arrived, someone in Mexico City decided to double the slip rates, and the place emptied faster than you can say cheap cruiser. The other marina in town, much less expensive, was where I'd stayed before, but it was chock full of said penurious cruisers, so I had the luxury model all to myself. A few boats wandered into my marina for a night or two from time to time, but real cruisers being what they are, low budget, they quickly left. I was the only live-aboard, and certainly the only one with a JOB, which was the very reason for my Monday morning petulance. For the first time in years, I was actually expected to punch a time clock, like Monday through Friday. Not literally punch in, of course, but I was expected to show up near a certain hour and stay there all day. Other people's schedules tend to grate on my already ticklish nerve endings, which is one of two reasons I founded Hetta Coffey SI LLC in the first place, so I can call my own shots. The other reason was that no one else will put me on their payroll. I am Hetta Coffey SI, my little phonetic joke for civil engineer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and sole employee of my consulting firm, specializing in materials management for offbeat, some might even say shady-projects. The only saving factor on this otherwise annoying Monday morning was that I knew that this was only a 3-month commitment, max. 3 whole months, however, of that galling gal's clangorous gut seemed untenable on the first day. But hey, I've been on projects in much less desirable locations than Baja, California Sur. At least I can brush my teeth with the tap water. The downside to that is brushing one's pearly whites with local water in many places promotes better-fitting jeans. My new home, Santa Rosalia, is an old mining village with the moldering charm of another era. Because of her French founders, the town looks less Mexican than just about any place I've seen south of the border. Since the settlement was actually built to plan, the streets are wider than most Mexican village roads, but are now one way to accommodate parking, wider vehicles, and recently cruisers. Not boat people, but a social event reminiscent of a 1960s movie. With new money in town due to the mine reopening, everybody has a car, and the young people cruise the circuit, bumper to bumper, blasting music and flirting with each other. The town's wooden houses, each with a porch and many with a tiny balcony on the second floor, were built to the planner's design in a Victorian age and have that look. They are gaily painted, if some